Hello, here's your mom friend Kathleen, and welcome to Wildly Rooted. Motherhood isn't about having it all figured out, it's about growth. Together, we're planting deep roots so we can feel calm, confident, and connected. In just 5 to 15 minutes, we'll breathe, reset, and explore tools to bring more peace, joy, and ease into our days. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm here with you, learning, growing, and rewriting motherhood together. Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful mama. It's your mom friend Kathleen here. Today, I'm sharing a personal shift I've been walking through as a mom and entrepreneur, and I believe it might just open up something for you too. And if I have to title that shift, I would like to claim it as you get to have it all, not by doing it all, but by living in alignment. And for this episode, I invite you to pretend that I'm your coach and I'm coaching you, taking you with me on my journey, but at the same time, coaching you, reflecting on your own life, where you might see something similar. So let's just dive in and get started. And the first step as your coach is to look at your old story versus the new story. As an example, many moms feel they have to choose between being present with their children or pursuing their dreams or careers. How often have I heard, like, I have to work to, you know, to have that life that we're having. I can't stay longer home with my children. And I used to believe that too. I believed that starting my own business requires struggle, hustle, lots of hours. And from that space, of course, I couldn't create what I wanted to create. So I didn't do anything. And then I started with the coach to rewrite that story and created my new paradigm. And my new paradigm is the more joy and alignment I bring into my life, the more everything will flow. And of course, my kids will benefit from watching me live my purpose and live in flow. And just listen to that. The more joy and alignment I bring in my life, the more everything will flow. It just feels so much easier and so much more joyful than sticking to the old thoughts about having to choose, the or be present and be with my kids or pursue my dream. Be with my kids or being healthy, like, or being healthy and my kids have to be, with a nanny or at a daycare. This big or to have that, I need to give something else up. And how about we changing that story and making our new truth that we can have it all, not by doing it all, but by living in alignment, by living in joy and pleasure. It's just my little one is waking up. Okay, so just shifting just the stories we tell yourself from the old stories to a new story. And then going to the next step is to rewire our mindsets actually. What we believe and our thoughts matters. So we created now a new truth of how we want to live from pleasure and joy. And then what thoughts are we having and which new thoughts do we want to invite in? So not just having this overarching truth, but now we're taking it a step further into the single thoughts to affirm that shift. So my old thoughts were, for example, that I have to work constantly. I have to hustle. I have to work hard. I need to put a lot of hours in. And if I want to have my business, my kids need to be full-time in daycare for me to have it. And by now, I really started to shift to think everything will flow and I will be supported by the universe no matter what. And I can have both being with my kids home and having a business. Okay, you can hear I'm nervous. This is very close to me. And like I said, I'm just undergoing it myself. So I'm a bit excited, nervous, whatever. So I know it's going to be really hard to press publish on this one. So I'm really shifting. That's how I started this podcast, like as a like background information. That's where all the changes are coming in. And of course, you have heard the last couple of podcasts. A lot of it is about this type of mindset. So I'm really reframing things right now that uh, I get paid generously for being in my zone of genius. Money shows up for me in expected and unexpected ways. Um, and overflow benefits everyone around me to really shift that I'm supported. Everything will come. And if I feel joy and pleasure, just things flow naturally. And whenever the action I've been taking on that step in particular is not just to reframe and affirm old patterns, like I have to work hard and I have to work long hours. I'm actually saying, as long as I'm doing the work in joy and in pleasure and creating the space that feels good to me while still being with my children, things will flow and come to me. And the action I take on this step is literally that when I feel in a state of flow and joy, like recording that podcast episode, I say thank you and more, please. There is actually this beautiful song from Fia called Yes and More, Please. So I'm listening a lot to that song right now because it helps me stay in that zone. And then, as your coach, let's have a look to ditch the guilt and then embrace the end. Mom guilt, it's real, but it's also optional. How do we react? So why am I saying and starting here this? Because I always felt I have to choose. I have to choose either being with my kids at home or starting my business and putting in the hours. And now I'm realizing I can have both. I can be a loving, present mom and a woman who thrives and follows her dreams. And I believe the same for you. You can have it both. You can be a loving, present mom and an amazing woman who thrives and follows her dreams. And how does that feel to hear that? Just soak this up. You can have it both. You can be a loving, present mom and a woman who thrives and follows her dreams, no matter what they are. That you need to know and you need to check in is these dreams, do they fill me with joy and pleasure? Or is this dreams I think I should have? On a side note, a few clients I've been working with, I noticed this, that some of them, when I asked them about their dreams, they told me, this kind of perfect life. They would like to be healthier and fitter and have this career and this work. Or yes, they were like, I have to work. I can't stay longer home with my kids. And I just noticed that this didn't come from a place of pleasure and joy. Like you see it in their face and how they talked. It didn't spark like there was no like, yes, that feels good. It was just like, that's what I think I should have, or I think that would be nice to have. So really to figure out what is it actually your dreams are. And this is actually the next journal prompt that I got received. And now I'm giving it on to you. As a coach, if you would write down what would your ideal day look like, and again, write it from a place of joy and pleasure, and not what you think the perfect day should be like. And then the other prompt would be, who's the version of me that lives in a way that feels good? And what does it mean to feel good? And yes, I'll leave it here. And so for me, I was really working from I have to choose to I can have it both, and then have these affirmations around me, that I always have time for what matters most to me, and I'm modeling self-trust and abundance to my kids. And that feels to me empowering. So I invite you to look what could be your reframes. I think the first one is probably something that will fit with most of you, that I always have time for what matters most. Isn't that cool to think? And actually, if you start looking, it probably is already true. At least in my case, things that truly need to get done, they always get done. And maybe just need to be more conscious about what it is that really needs to get done. And in my case, when I was working with the coach, I blocked out sacred time for my dreams and for my children, bringing even more intentionality into my life. Um, so, and I would like to invite you to do that. Where can you create space, time for the things that are truly most important to you? So, what it means, I have actually now blocked out time where I'm working, where I'm not with my kids, where my husband takes care of the kids, much more than before. But I'm also more intentionally with my children. I spend a lot of time with them, but as you might have noticed, it's easy also to just fall in the trap to do more. There's always more laundry, there's always more dinners to be cooked, more things to be cleaned up, and really to invite more intentionality in to our lives to bring more joy and pleasure. So my life shall be more joy and pleasure in all areas of my life. Which leads me then to step 3, to just let it be easy. Like I mentioned, I felt success meant I require struggle. And now I'm asking myself, what would it look like if it were easy? I give myself permissions instead of thinking I need to be on every platform to be seen. I sell and share my gifts in ways that feel fun. Sorry, sun. Well, sun is also nice. So right now, I don't feel really sparked and lightened up by the idea of posting daily on Instagram. So I'm not very active on Instagram. But I love doing this podcast. So you will get weekly episodes with this podcast. And then I create it in a way that is simple and aligned. So, taking this podcast as an example, it's a very short podcast. It's easy to record, it's fairly easy to write, and it's also easy for you to consume. I hope it's exactly what you need. But for me, this is simple, this is fun, and it feels good. And then it also helps me to work in the rhythm that suits my season. And when I was working with the coach on this felt so good. It was like, bang, this kind of aha moment, because I already love and try to live after my menstrual cycle. I think women in particular with our menstrual cycle have there's so much wisdom and power, and taking that rhythm actually and that cycle into my business just feels so good. So I'm using my energy as my strategy instead of the other way around. And my business shall uplift me and not drain me. And before I start taking action now, I asked, like, does this fill me up? Does it bring me joy? Does this feel light or not? And if it's tasks I have to get done that don't feel that good, I just ask, how can I make this more fun? So one of my kids craving some attention. So let me just wrap this up. I want you to really hear me now when I say this. You're safe to have it all. Do you hear me? Doesn't that feel good? You're safe to have it all. You are safe to thrive without sacrificing your soul or your family for that matter. Let go of the old story and just let that sink in. Like when I hear this, it makes me feel so good that I'm safe to thrive without needing to sacrifice my soul or my family. I'm ready to step into a new, aligned, joyful, abundant truth. And then ask yourself the question, what's the next aligned step for me? And as always, from one wildly rooted mama to another, keep growing and glowing. P.S. To record this episode today was hard for me, and I'm sure it will be hard to publish it. I was nervous you might could hear it, but I felt so important, and that message resonated when it came through with the coach so much. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, just please hit follow, leave a review because it helps other mamas find this. And if you're ready to shift your story, sign up for my newsletter and receive my free guide, Moms Unstuck, where you can learn practical steps to move forward and create a life that feels wildly rooted and fully yours.